All right, and we're going. Welcome to episode 1 of Casual Hedonism, my cooking show. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be making Dijon chicken, and we're pairing it with some white wine, some nice Chardonnay. Little bit of background about me. I am a graphic designer and marketing manager in my profession normally from day to day, but in the last couple of years I've really gotten into the wine industry, and not only that, but consuming wine, but also making it myself. I attended UC Davis online and got their winemaking certificate, and have been working, volunteering my time at a local winery over the last 3 years, and it's been a whole lot of fun. It's really eye-opening on how the winemaking process works, and it's just been so enlightening and exciting for me to get into this. But anyway, today we're making, like I said, Dijon chicken. So I'm gonna crisp up these slices of bacon here, and then get the chicken in the pan after I do the vegetables, and I'll be talking about these white wines we have right here, which are all Chardonnay. Specifically, I'm going to be pairing the Kendall Jackson Vintners Reserve Chardonnay 2024 with this meal. It's an affordable bottle of wine. It's about $14 to $16 depending on where you get it. It's the most popular selling Chardonnay in America for the last 30 years, which is unbelievable. But it's a great product, super affordable, and it's gonna be a balanced California Chardonnay. It's not gonna be too buttery. It's gonna have nice tropical fruit flavors and a decent acid backbone to it, unlike some other California Chardonnays. Like this Bogle Chardonnay is going to be a little less acid forward, but it's going to be a bigger bodied Chardonnay because it's a little riper. But all these exhibit sort of different qualities on Chardonnay, and they all have kind of a different, reason to be here on the list. But we'll get into those as we go. For right now, I'm gonna get this bacon started. I'm gonna get it started in a cold pan. Get the heat on here. Normally, I don't bother cooking bacon with this recipe, but the idea popped in my head when I was thinking about doing this whole thing, this whole YouTube channel. I was like, it'd be really great if it had something, a little exciting topper on top. And I decided on bacon. The smoky, rich fattiness will be really great with whatever white wine that you go and pair it with, or honestly, it's just gonna be great with addition no matter what, even if you don't have wine. But we're doing wine today. That's my thing, I guess. So yeah, I'm hoping that this channel can be a fun way to express my love of wine and cooking out to the world. I've been interested in cooking for as long as I can remember. I remember watching my mom in the kitchen growing up and emulating what she did, and just it was a big inspiration to me. Watching Food Network growing up was also a huge inspiration to me, people like Alton Brown, and then getting older and getting out on the internet, and wow, like there's so many people now. But I gotta say, one of the first people who really inspired me to do this, probably not surprising to you, given the POV shot that you're witnessing right now, is Kenji. Kenji's been around, since like the beginning of the internet foodie era, publishing recipes and doing good, like really amazing work for Serious Eats. Like if you want a recipe that is completely over the top, to the nines, go pick a Serious Eats recipe. I think you'll find something that you like in there. I'm not so confident at how clean my drain is, so we're gonna call that a dead soldier. But clean the mushrooms up. Get them a little dry. Don't worry too bad about them getting wet or anything like that. It's kind of an old wives' tale about mushrooms soaking up water, but it's not going to matter in this context. Like, you really have to let them soak for a while to have it be an issue. And we just aren't doing that. Just getting all the crud off. All right, mushrooms are prepped. You know what? We should get the rice on. I'm gonna do an herbed butter rice with this today. Been enjoying this jasmine rice. It's from my rice cooker, which is inoperable right now. Just not gonna talk about that. I guess we can. You know, I bought a cheap rice cooker on Amazon. Or I guess my lovely wife ordered the rice cooker on Amazon for me that I picked out. She's a wonderful woman. And I used it a couple times and now it's broken. I only paid like 20 bucks for it, but damn, really? You know, thought I'd get a little bit more use out of it than that. It's gonna do 2 cups of rice. And with this, I think that's 3 cups. Yeah, 3 cups of water. Just follow the bag directions for your rice. You know, I say that, but I'm gonna rinse this out just to get the starch out. It makes the rice grains a little nicer in the end. It's less gummy and sticky. Gotta say, this is one of the things that I didn't think was gonna be worth it, watching all the starch off the rice, but it's actually pretty great. Would recommend. Oh yeah. There's just so much of it. And it's gonna ask for, and you know, the recipe is asking for 3 cups of water, and we're just gonna, you know, kind of eyeball it with all this extra water that we've added to the pot. We'll get most of it out, but you know, like a half cup of water maybe is gonna probably remain in all that rice because we want 2 cups of rice, so. Oh yeah, now I'm losing rice grains. All right, one more. Sounds like the bacon's cooking away real nice over there though, which is great. Oh, that's cold. All right. There's 2 cups of water, and that's probably close to about the right amount. Yeah, I mean, I think the recommendation is like a finger segment of water ahead of the rice or on top of the rice. So we're gonna get about there. You don't have to fuss with that a whole lot. If you really want it done right every time, get a rice cooker. But maybe not one as cheap as the one that I purchased. I need some salt for that. We can get this going. This takes about 20 minutes or something on the bag directions, 15-20 minutes. Let's get that rice back in the pot. Okay. Don't want to stir it too much, and that's going. Okay, the bacon's moving nice. Whoa, what a noise. Let's get a tongs for that. That's what we'll do. So anyway, I don't know where I was in that whole thing. I get distracted quite easily. Let's get back to prepping these vegetables though. Let's start with the onion. I got some onion, and there's a garlic head. Yep, onion and garlic, and we have some mushrooms as well for this. I'm just gonna go chop this whole red onion up and add it in. I like onion enough that I don't care if there's, whoa, kind of a lot of it. Kind of bumped you all there. My apologies. I'm not used to driving around with a camera on my head. Still getting used to this whole thing. So yeah, I've been into cooking forever. Anthony Bourdain is like one of my hero people. It's introducing me to like so much world culture and food over the years. Definitely wouldn't be doing this without that guy. Really gave me a deep appreciation for other people and different lived experiences. But we're getting into the onions now. You can chop these whatever way you want. I just like doing these little thin strips. I don't care about it being diced in this recipe. If I did, I would chop this maybe a little differently, but it doesn't really matter. They're gonna get thin and translucent, and they're gonna be kind of like onion strings, I guess, in the final dish. I have like 3.5 pounds of chicken thighs, so this is kind of an appropriate amount of onions for that. I feel like, if anything, I don't really have as many mushrooms as I maybe wanted, but I can deal with that. Let me get a bowl to put all these in, just for the moment. Would have been smarter maybe if I had done this all a different way, but we're going in here with these for now. Bacon smells good. Sounds good too. There's a, I guess I've heard this. I haven't been to a Japanese tempura restaurant before, but allegedly some Japanese tempura restaurants don't have music playing. They just you listen to the sound of the food frying, and that's part of the sensory experience there. It's kind of like that idea that those chefs were thinking about the environment too. Oh yeah. Crispy bacon. Oh, my eyes are watering from that onion. I'm probably gonna, oh, it's getting a little stuck. Okay. Not too worried about how this is gonna look in the end. I just want it to be seared on both sides. I'm just gonna chop it up. It's gonna be a little topper whopper for this. While that's cooking, we can actually season up the chicken a bit. This is a little ADD, but we're gonna get there. Misplaced my salt. Add some salt. And pepper. Now I like to add a little bit of extra base flavor seasoning, I guess, to the chicken here. Other than the salt and pepper, I do a little garlic onion powder, some smoked paprika. I don't go too crazy with any of these things. I don't want to add a lot of flavor to this. I'm just trying to give it like an extra dimension when you bite into it. Nothing crazy. Haven't opened this paprika yet. It's all a setup for the show. Hate it when that little last bit clings onto these things. Just know it's gonna like bother me every time I look at that. Wow. Okay. A little onion powder, a little garlic powder. This is completely optional. And then I'm adding mustard powder because I'm just that person, I guess, today. Right? You know, what's this need is a little bit more mustard. But like I said, this is just a nice flavor base for the chicken. It'll fry up in the oil, It'll taste real nice. And unfortunately, the best way to do this is to get in there with your hands and get yourself all dirty, which, as a sensory experience for me, I hate. But it's the path to delicious chicken, so it's the one we're gonna walk. So I have a lot of wines, 6 wines today. I'm showing, I don't know if I'm gonna do that every time I make food. I think that's maybe a little unnecessary, but now's the first video and I guess I'm getting, you know, all the ideas out right away. But they all kind of encompass a wide showing of Chardonnay. Chardonnay is a great grape overall for winemakers because you can do a lot with it, and it really depends. I mean, all wine depends on where it's grown, but there's a lot that winemakers themselves can do to make the grapes sing, depending on. All right, looks like that's ready. So Chardonnay changes style drastically whether or not you put it in oak barrels or if you put it in a concrete tank or a stainless steel tank to ferment. And you might want that in a particular Chardonnay style over another. And the Chardonnay styles can be quite varied from how they present. So in California, what's typical for Chardonnay is the fruit gets very developed because California is a very sunny growing region of the world and hot. So the fruit tends to develop, the grapes tend to develop more into tropical fruit flavors like pineapple, guava, and mango. And the acid profile in the wine drops way down as ripening continues. So these 4 Chardonnays are all from California, but they all don't have the same acid profile in the wine. The Kendall Jackson Vintners Reserve and the Wente Morning Fog, I don't know, am I showing this? The Wente Morning Fog and the Kendall Jackson Vintners Reserve, both are going to be the most medium bodied in this whole lineup here I have. If I'm showing that correctly with my camera on my head, I'm still a little new at that. We're going to cut these into quarters because I like a big chunk of mushroom when I'm noshing. Actually, we're going to check the bacon is what we're going to do. Oh yeah, that's crispy. Yeah, you know, you could put a little paper towel in there to absorb the grease, but whatever. It'll probably be pretty crisp regardless. The oil off my hands. You know, I should just get a real towel for that. Back to mushrooms. Anyway, these Chardonnays are all going to be kind of different from each other because of where they were grown and how they were handled by the winemaker. So like I said, these are going to be the most medium, middle of the road kind of Chardonnay. It's going to have a decent acid profile, and it's going to have kind of trending towards tropical fruit flavors. This one's going to be maybe more pineapple-y, but it's still going to have nice lemon and lime characteristic to it too, probably. It has a little oak action going on, so it's going to be a little oaky, a little vanilla-y, you know, maybe a little coconut, depending on if they're using American oak or not. I had this wine, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember, but it's a very enjoyable experience. Some people might call it a porch pounder. I don't know that I would advise drinking that irresponsibly, but it's a good wine to have whenever. If you're having people over, no one will clock it as something cheap or bad or anything like that. This is good wine to have. Let's change the wine up. So instead of the middle of the road Wente or Kendall Jackson, we're going to talk about the Bogle and the Juggernaut, which are going to be a little bit more full-bodied. I say a little bit more, a lot more full-bodied. The Bogle's going to have much less acid, but the Juggernaut apparently has a pretty good acid profile still. So one of the nice things about California is that in California there are different growing regions that produce different flavors or aspects to the grapes. So, or present different aspects of the grapes grown there. So this is a North Coast Chardonnay grown on the north part of California on the coast. And that is going to influence it to be a little bit more bright and acidic and a little less developed in flavor. This Bogle family Chardonnay is probably mostly sourced from places like Lodi, where the fruit ripening is going to go to the lower acid profile and the higher ripeness, more tropical fruit. This is going to be, the Juggernaut's going to be a good balance of the tropical flavors and the like more acidic lemon limey flavors, but it's still a California Chardonnay. It's going to be buttery. It's going to be big and, you know, opulent over the Bogle Chardonnay, which is, I mean, this is a $9 bottle of Chardonnay, and the Juggernaut I got for $16 today. So both are pretty affordable. The Bogle is definitely on the most affordable end of this spectrum. It's $8 or $9 a bottle. Plenty delicious, good intro wine, but it's going to be that full, opulent California Chardonnay style. A lot of wine nerds really appreciate acid in wine. It's it's a must for some of them, but I really prefer more balanced wines where the acid profile is appropriately integrated with the flavor profile, and it's not enamel peeling or anything like that. Like some people who get into Rieslings really love the ridiculous acidity of a German Riesling, which are great, don't get me wrong. It's just not, you know, what I want to drink all the time. All right, do I got all the mushrooms quartered? Looks, oh, maybe one more, two more. All right, and on the other end of the spectrum here is the Mâcon-Villages by Louis Jadot, who's an importer, and this Chablis Chardonnay. All these are Chardonnay, by the way. These are just from France, so they're named with the appellation in which they're grown in. It's a big deal in France, and I mean, it's a big deal here, but we have less strict rules with it. You can grow anything here if you want, if you're intrepid enough. In France, because that's Chablis, it has to be Chardonnay. Because that's Burgundy, it has to be Chardonnay. If it's a white grape. Although, I don't know, they might be changing the rules for Burgundy soon. Climate change, there's a lot of things to consider. But these two, the Chablis and this Burgundy, Bourgogne, I don't know. I'm not French, obviously. Bourgogne, yeah, wow. You know, I thought I was gonna do better on camera with that, but you whiffed some. Oh, yeah, my sink's making some noises right now. It's okay. Screaming is just part of 2026. All right, so mushrooms are taken care of, and we're gonna say that that's appropriately done. All right, now we need to get into the garlic, and we are almost there. We're almost all the way prepped. You know what? This calls for some wine. So, to review here, from most acidic, right here, the Chablis and the Mâcon-Villages Chardonnay from France. Both of these are going to be similar. The Mâcon-Villages, this was like $17 or $18, and this Chablis was like $25 to $30. That doesn't necessarily mean they're the best wines here, but they're great wines. Honestly, if I was doing this, you know, on the weekend and I wanted it to have a little bit more of an elevated wine experience, I'd probably pick the Chablis. It's got that steely mineral kind of quality to it, and that high racy acid, like the lemon and lime flavors will be amazing here. And because of the limestone soil it's grown on, it's associated with more mineral flavors in the wine, and it'll just really cut through the opulence of this dish. But it's a weeknight, so I think something a little bit more affordable is on the table, and this is a great middle of the road option for that. Again, the Kendall Jackson and the Wente, I would say that these are very similar wines. You know, affordable, easy weeknight dinner options. They're great on their own, nothing wrong with them. They're just not the fanciest of the fancy. And then, like I said, they're middle of the road in price, and also middle of the road in terms of how buttery they are versus how acidic they are. These are very well balanced wines. The Bogle Chardonnay, this is going to definitely trend towards the less balanced, less acid, more full-bodied Chardonnay style. It's going to have some creamy oak integration to it, those tropical fruit flavors. And the Juggernaut's going to be similar, but because it was grown on the North Coast, it's going to have a higher acid profile to it. It's going to have a little bit more backbone, but otherwise, still a big, opulent California Chardonnay with butter and vanilla in it. Any of these would be a good choice, depending on your mood that day, or what you're trying to do for it. The wine industry as a whole, it's funny. I say the Kendall Jackson Chardonnay is the most popular Chardonnay or whatever in America for the last 30 years running, but it's kind of underrated. It's just great for the price. I'm not going to tell you that it's, you know, the best buy forever, but you can find it damn near anywhere. And Kendall Jackson has a couple other options in that same line, the Vintners Reserve. Although I gotta be honest, I've not tried them. That's one of the things about the world of wine that is so compelling and also so frustrating, is that there's so much of it out there that's like, where do you even begin to start? So that's part of the reason why I went with the Kendall Jackson tonight, was that it's very easy for people in the US to find, which is where I live, in the mid-Atlantic US. If you're curious, don't dox me. Do not want. Just form parasocial relationships with me, and you know, maybe we'll see each other at a con or something. All right. Let's get this garlic chopped up. You know, I say that about the tempura restaurant, that you're supposed to just sort of accept the tempura, but I just have this this washing machine running, you know? Let's just stop that. That can go on later. I run that thing so much that I don't even notice it anymore. All right. We're almost to the searing the chicken part, I promise. Let's turn this back on. Those good bacon bits in there. Ooh. Love good fond. Produces the best kind of flavors. And it's funny. I'll not notice things like the washing machine or dishwasher running for like a while, but you know, now the sound is like almost impossibly grating to me that it exists now that I noticed it. So my apologies for recording however much of this video like that. What a great first showing. Dee-doo. You love how all the appliances talk to us now. They all have some song to sing. It's a lot better. It's a lot more silent. Okay. All these things are good to go. It's cooking up. Now the chicken should only have to sear for, I don't know, like 5 minutes aside, not super long. It's pretty thin at this point. It's not got a bone in it. It doesn't have the skin on it, so I'm not too worried about it cooking through, especially because we're gonna cook it in a like a broth and wine and Dijon and milk mixture. So it'll heat through in the end, no matter what. Oop, grab two at the same time. I just thought that was a really extra thick chicken thigh. Damn. Could almost get them. But let's not crowd the pan. 2 minutes left on our rice. Chicken searing. Vegetables are getting ready to go. Yeah, all right, let's reward ourselves with some wine. You know, put up with the dishwasher sound and got to here, or skipped ahead, and that's probably for the best. Right. Yeah, this is going to be really great in the spring and summer. It's got that medium plus body. Good pineapple, lemon, lime kind of aroma. This is actually a little leaner than I expected it to be honest. I expected more oak, but I'm glad there's not. It's like very appropriate. I hadn't had the 2024 yet. I think I had the 2022 or 2023 when I did, and it was a little oakier, but this is great. Love it. Awesome. Good weeknight white wine. I mean, all these are, depending on what your budget or your use case is. Just sort of sit in silence and enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, it looks done. We'll call that. And then I'll just stand for a little while. This has been in there for about 3 minutes, so another 3 to go. Yeah, it's got that, still got the tropical fruit in there too. It goes nicely from the pineapple to the, you know, the guava and mango, but it still has that acid backbone to it. This doesn't just fall over. Yeah, I mean, you can see why that's the best-selling wine for the best-selling Chardonnay for the last 30 years in the U.S. You sound like the McDonald's CEO. It's a quality product. And it's going to be my dinner. Well, with some chicken. Chicken makes everything better. Wine makes everything better. Profound statements, I know, right? little soggy, but it's fine. It'll be good anyway. I guess I could have cooked it a little harder. You know, I'm getting a little sticking, but like it's so close. Oh yeah. Oh, that's hot. Steam escaping is powerful. But that's a pretty common thing in cooking, is getting a little hurt to do it. Scratches, steam bursts. Got to be a little bit more aware than some of the other things. Some other hobbies. I guess that's part of why I like it too. It's dynamic. It's exciting. I don't make this recipe too often, but I've really enjoyed making it the last couple times. It just comes out so good. The flavors are simple, but really rich and delicious. Again, perfect pairing with the wines. All of these wines would either pair well in a complementary sense, like the Bogle Chardonnay and these more middle of the road kind of Chardonnays, and definitely the Juggernaut Chardonnay. This would all pair with like the creamy, rich flavor in the wine, but as like a pairing like to like. So the creamy, oaky butteriness of the Bogle and the Juggernaut, the Kendall Jackson and the Wente would all go well with the creamy butteriness in this dish. But also, the Kendall Jackson and the Wente have a good acid profile to them, like the Chablis and the Mâcon-Villages Chardonnays do. So they would also help cut through the all the fat in this dish with their acid and give you a contrasting pairing. So that's why these middle of the road, I keep saying middle of the road, but you know, all right, I guess middle of the road is where I'm going. Chardonnays are great for that because they can bounce around and do a lot of things at once. They might not be the absolute perfect pairing for a dish, but going wrong just isn't going to happen. You cannot go wrong. Unless you're a snob. But I will say this about wine snobs is that every single hobby, fandom, profession, whatever, has its snobs. And wine is obviously no different. Although I think wine snobs get a worse rap than other people do. But imagine going online and finding out that you like the wrong kind of firearm or the wrong kind of car. There are snobs in every single possible corner of the world. So try to let other people have fun. That's really the main rule. Not everybody's as knowledgeable as you. Give people some grace. Got a little extra raw chicken to dump. These are going to get another 5-ish minutes aside. But they should be close. The other ones are seared pretty good. Oh, I don't even think I added any MSG to this. What a missed opportunity. Yeah, I'll add it to the sauce. I like MSG. It's a good, like it says, flavor enhancer. It just makes things taste a little bit more deep and rich. But if you pair it too much with some kind of spice blends, it almost gets too Dorito-y, if anybody knows what I mean. But otherwise, it's just great to add in a little extra dimensional flavor depth, I guess. I put it in chicken all the time. I don't know when I bought this. I think maybe 2019 or something. Maybe there's a copyright or like sell-by date on it for whatever reason, but this has lasted me forever. I only ever add like a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons at a time to 3 pounds of chicken or something, so it'll last you. I keep coming back to this wine. I can't stop myself. Yeah. It's like delicious tropical fruit juice. That's one of the most fantastical and exciting parts about wine, to be honest with you, is that it gets to be like delicious tropical fruit juice. There's such an amazing volume of flavors that are presented that aren't just, it tastes like grapes. Nobody wants to say that at a tasting. Nobody wants their wine to taste, it tastes like grapes. But it does taste like grapes sometimes, but the best wines will have you really excited for the dynamic action that's going on in them. You know, this is pineapple, but mango, a little guava, and then the acid comes through and it's lemony and limey. It's a fun drink. I'm getting like a little malic acid in it. And malic acid is present in grapes. It's also present in green apples. It gives things a sharp acidity. It's also present in limes. Winemakers can take a process, or can use a process called lactofermentation to reduce the amount of malic acid in wine. And maybe this could have used more mallow if I'm really nitpicking it, but like it's a little harsh in malic acid to me. But damn if I'm not enjoying myself. Well, these are cooking up fast. I said 5 minutes aside and it's been 3. Get that sear, baby. And we're building up a delicious fond and oil in the bottom of the pan. I'm very excited to eat this. We're going to go in with the mushrooms next, and then we're going to go in with the garlic and onions. And, oh, looks like I need to make some chicken broth. Where did I pop? There it is. I use Better Than Bouillon. Just my preferred brand, I guess. They melt the chickens down, and I like the way they melt them down, so you get a good chicken slop. That's how much I'll need, I guess. I don't know, it's like a teaspoon per 8 ounces of water, but there's some little bits in there that'll come up, but that'll get cooked in the pan. I'm not too worried about that. All right, going on with all the mushrooms. Get them all coated in that bacon grease and olive oil. Oh yeah. Like basically the whole dish. The mushrooms are optional here. I know some people out there don't like them. Ooh, looks like I missed one. Let's fix him up real quick. I'm trying to sear my hand on this guy. Sometimes they sneak through, and you don't get them all. He was kind of small. I'm like holding this like I'm gonna stab somebody with it. It's kind of small to begin with, so kind of fell through the cracks. You know, I could do that. It's got a bunch of grease on the handle, and I'm not loving that about it. So, just gonna change utensils. This definitely needs some salt and pepper. It's amazing how much oil was in here before, and these mushrooms just like soak it all up or something. But they have a bunch of water in them, and that'll release some of the fond on the pan. Here we go. A little bit of salt. I find that it's helpful to add salt, the seasoning, you know, in stages when you add ingredients. That helps you portion it out roughly for the final dish as you go. Right? If you season the chicken thighs correctly, if you season the mushrooms, if you season the other vegetables correctly, by the time you get to the end, you're going to be close to having the final seasoning for the dish, even if you didn't quite nail it on how much you needed for the sauce, how much seasoning you needed for the sauce. Yeah, I can turn this up. Not as worried about it burning now that it's got the moisture coming out. I think it was a Kenji video. You know, I don't want to misattribute anything to him, but I think, you know, I was watching somewhere that like mushrooms are really hard to burn. Maybe it was a different Serious East video or America's Test Kitchen. I don't know. One of these online chef people said mushrooms were like almost impossible to burn because of the water in them and just the way they are. So take solace in that. You will probably not screw these up if you go for them. I like doing quarter mushrooms in this dish. Some people like to do the thin little slices. They're okay. That's the way I usually get a lot of dishes, is the thin slices of mushrooms. But I've kind of come to realize over the last, I don't know, however many years, that I just like my mushrooms a little thicker. There it is. Like a good meaty bite. Just gonna send these through a little wash real quick. Good enough. Not terribly worried about that. They probably wash them in the store. Like, I wouldn't say that if I hadn't already looked at some of these things and they said that on on the package. These are coming along nicely, and they're deglazing the pan just like we wanted. Perfect. I'm gonna let these cook for another, I don't know, 3 minutes. And the onions are gonna go in the pan with the garlic. We got the chicken stock going. I'll write down some kind of recipe in the description, but I eyeball everything in the kitchen almost always. I mean, I say that right now as I fill up a volumetric measuring device, but for the most part, I just kind of eyeball my stuff. Taste as you go. All the chefs that tell you to do that are correct. I haven't tasted anything here, but I know what I'm doing. I'm not worried about it being off. Chicken broth made. Delicious Chardonnay in my belly again. It's so easy to be winning for dinner. You know, and this is not a disrespecting to sommeliers, because they can find you the right wine for the dish that you're having, like the right wine. I gave you 6 wines here, but those people out there, they know exactly what wine they're pairing with what. Like the really good somms know what vineyard they're pairing with this dish. But there's so many options with this. You can screw it up, but I think the only way to screw up pairing wine with food, seriously, okay, there's 2 ways, I guess. Pairing something that you don't like just because it's the correct pairing, and then pairing something that's like really wildly incorrect. like a really heavy tannic red with some spicy food. Like the tannins in the red wine, the things that make your mouth feel dry, they react with the capsaicin, and it's just a bad time for everybody. Yeah, increases the feeling of both of those, the astringency and the spiciness. So that's why I wouldn't go with that personally for a spicy dish, but everyone has their things that they like. I definitely know that there are some big red wine people out there, like there are big IPA people out there, and they want to get ripped by those tannins like the IPA people want to get punched in the face by hops. More power to them. It's not necessarily where I want to be with wine all the time, but it's fun sometimes, I guess. It's kind of where I started. My dad always had wine in the house growing up, and it's not like I was drinking underage, you know, or anything all the time, but I'd have a glass here and there. And my dad really liked Bordeaux and Napa Cabs, so there was always a wealth of both of those. But he likes a lot of different kind of wine. He introduced me to Sauterne, some delicious dessert white wine from Bordeaux. Beautiful stuff, and really cheap as compared to what it used to be. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more salt and pepper to this. Now that we just added all these onions in here. Man, that's so many onions. It's a good thing I like onions. You might want to only add half an onion to yours. Just know we like vegetables here. Oh man, yeah, I'm really feeling this camera in my head right now. It's a good thing this is almost over for just my sanity's point. I'm having a great time with you all here. I'm having a great time regardless because this wine is good. Yeah, if I had to knock it on anything, I'd say the malic acid balance of that bottle at least is like a little off, and it does not have the same kind of concentration that more expensive wine has and that you come to expect in higher end bottles of wine. This doesn't last very long on your palate with the aftertaste. It's like 7 seconds, which is again pretty great for the price. Like this is competing with European bottles for quite price to value ratio, which is high praise in the wine world. I'm probably stirring this more than I have to, but I guess that's what happens when you've been on camera for half an hour, however long it's been. Just a little bit more wine. I do want to save some for dinner, and I'm going to deglaze a little bit, and my wife also would like some wine, I'm sure. So to deprive her of that would just be rude. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day of it wherever you are, whatever time it is you're watching this. If you're me, you're probably watching this late at night. That's when I get all of my best food YouTubing in. It's late at night. But that's also consequently the time when I also want to play video games. So a lot of the time where I'm playing video games now, I'm also watching food YouTube. Or just really a lot of YouTube in general. It's such an amazing platform. There's a lot of hate against it, and for good reason, but it's such an amazing, incredible thing. I've learned so much from this website. I'm glad to be participating in it, finally. Feels odd being a late adopter millennial because I've been on the internet since LimeWire was a thing, since you could Google, you know, how to get Mew, right? My interest in video games really spurred my interest in technology and the internet as a whole. So I've been an internet denizen for most of my life. It's been an interesting time, especially lately. A lot of, like, the internet kind of broke containment, and now all the normal people are internet denizens, and I don't know that that's going so well for us. my eternal September, I guess. My Usenet homies know what's up. I don't really even know what's up because I didn't use Usenet because that's before my time, but I know things. I'm in the know of some things. Speaking of in the know, I like to make wine, and wine season will be coming up again, you know, this year like it comes up every year. So I hope to record some content of me in the winery, working with my coworkers and the head winemaker, who's just an absolute gem of a person. Yeah, I'm just really excited for all that. I could just put this thyme directly into our broth. Try not to get too many of the stems in there. That was a lot hotter than it looked. I didn't scream, but that's only because you're all watching. That's boiling water. I don't know if you know that, but I put boiling water in there and then forgot and put my fingers into it. I say don't get the stems, but I'm getting plenty of stems. This is some brickweed kind of thyme right now. Kind of stuff you bought in college when you're desperate. Someone's older brother or sister selling it to you. I wouldn't know about that. Try to do your best with these. A real simple way is just take your fingers and kind of make a little scraper with it. They sell all kinds of tools to do this, but you know, we came with fingers, so you can use them, I guess. It helps if you go backwards, but you can go forwards too and get them, you know, at least enough that it's not a total waste of time. I get it, Kenji. I mean, I don't have kids, so I'm not a dad, but like, I get the puns, you know? It's too tempting when you're on camera in front of everybody to just say something fun. Yeah, all right. That's a good amount of time. I don't really think I need any rosemary or parsley. I don't care. You can put all that stuff in if you want. Not my favorite thing in the world. All right, this is actually looking pretty great. So we're gonna deglaze with some white wine. I'm sure people are horrified that my wine glass has chicken aroma or mushroom aroma in it now, but I don't care. Hit it with a little white wine, deglaze that fond off the pan. You get a delicious flavor with the white wine, with everything else. Adds another little flavor dimension for you. Okay. Oh man, I've had this milk out of the fridge long enough. I think I can put it in here and just be good with everything in my life. Cool. Just kind of eyeball that out. That's like about the right amount of liquid, you know? If I add any more, it's gonna be milk. And I'm gonna add a little bit more milk right now to get up the rest of that chicken. This is just my need to be complete or whatever, OCD. I don't have OCD, but whatever people call that. All right, blasting it with heat. Let's get this to reduce a little bit. And then we're gonna go in with the chicken, and we're almost there. It does smell a little herby. Maybe that's just the thyme that's sitting out here amongst everything else. Where do I want to go after this? Let's go here, here. If you wanted this to be crispier, or if I wanted this to be crispier, I should have put it on a paper towel, but it's pretty crisp. Not really a lot of complaining here. Smells like delicious bacon. This is not required. I'd say the only thing that are required is required. Oh, I gotta add the Dijon mustard. Speaking of required things, it's literally in the dish name and sitting in front of me, and I haven't even added it because I'm too busy yapping. You know that feeling when you start yapping and then you don't stop yapping. All right. Oh, that looks good. Make it a little bit more even. The Dijon is great. It kind of turns the dish gray, so some people might not want to add as much to the dish because they're worried about the color. It'll be less golden and more gray, but it adds such a delicious flavor to it that I would never dream of leaving it out. This is probably where I'm going to start tasting after this cooks for another couple of minutes. I've had this wine in the past. I haven't had it lately, but I really love how there's a shark on it. Like, I know you're not supposed to buy anything by its cover, right? I'm a graphic designer and artist. And a red-blooded, you know, living human being. How could you not look at a shark breaching the water like this and not think that that is like the coolest thing? Sharks are tight. But wine's pretty good. It was 16 bucks. Pretty good deal, I think. Normally I find their wines closer to 20. So I don't know if something's changed recently. Wine industry is in a kind of a tailspin, so maybe the getting's good. Things are cheap. There's plenty of it. I make my own wine and wine labels at the winery. I guess I should say I make my wine under the supervision of a actual winemaker, and it comes out fantastic. We source the grapes from California. When we make from grapes, we make a lot of the white wines just from crushed juice already, which is really convenient because you don't have to deal with crushing them and making the press really dirty and sticky with the sugar from the grapes. So you just get a big old drum and you get a bucket of yeast basically, and you pour the yeast in the drum and you're done. It's the easiest thing in the world. I love it. But I make labels for my wine bottles, and I want to show those off at some other time because I love making labels for wine bottles. It's really just become an obsession. It was something that was interesting to me in college. I discovered this studio called Craftwork, and they're based in Paso Robles, and they've made wine labels for a lot of the producers out there. But they really inspired me when I was younger to be interested in that kind of design and take me closer to that now. So far I have labels for a Viognier, a Chardonnay, a GSM, a Super Tuscan style blend, which is Sangiovese, Cabernet, and Merlot. And then I have a label for what the winemaker is calling his Aussie style blend, which is a Cabernet and a Syrah, which the Aussies call Shiraz. Got a label for that. I made a rosé, and I've got like a silk screened label that's right on the bottle. So instead of these printed paper labels, it's just printed directly on there, and it looks awesome. I just really love how it came out. This is getting close. I think I added maybe a little bit too much liquid to this. It's gonna take a while for it to reduce. So, you know, let's check how that's tasting right now. Yeah. It's gonna need a little bit more salt. It's gonna need a little bit more pepper. It smells awesome right now. Food TV people keep saying that smell-o-vision needs to be invented, and it's hard to tell them that they're wrong. All right. Let's get these big old chicken nuggies back in the pot and swimming around in the delicious, flavorful broth. Oh yeah. And look, a little bit of the paprika's coming off and turning the broth a little bit more orange and less gray. Gotta look at that as like a positive. Okay. And there's some salt on those. That'll leach in. Evaporation will happen. Probably going to be pretty well seasoned soon enough. The rice. There's yummy bacon. Get a plate. You know, I said I was gonna make herb rice. I use it like all the time, but got some parsley, and I don't think it really needs that much rosemary, but we can hit it with a little rosemary, and that's like probably plenty. Just gonna fluff the rice with those veggies in it. Yeah, like if I was really gonna do this up, I would pull the thyme apart, pull all these things apart, but I'm just kind of didn't plan super hot. I'm just gonna mix these in right now and pull it out after it steams a little bit and flavors the rice, because whatever. It's not the most professional thing anyone's ever seen, but I'm not the most professional chef there's ever been. Nice. Yeah, that's really great. I say that every time I make this. So you should make it too. And buy some wine and drink it with dinner. Was I compelling enough there? What the hell did I open that for? Man. Oh yeah, the butter. Wow. Stay in school, kids. 3 cups of cooked rice. We're gonna go with 3 tablespoons of butter with that. I'm not trying to go too crazy on the butter. I recently lost a whole bunch of weight and I'm not trying to gain it all back, although I'm in mid bulk, so I'm a little bit more calorie tolerant right now than I would normally be otherwise. So that's part of what inspired this dish, I guess. You know, I love good rich food, and this is delicious rich food, you know. Okay, this should be about done. I'm sure I cooked it too long, but it doesn't matter because chicken thighs are the thing that saved me. It's really hard to screw those up. They're delicious basically every time, and they're really hard to overcook because they have so much fat content. I'm really just waiting on the rice at this point. I guess this is going to cook for another 3 minutes or something. The rice is going to melt that butter. I'm going to pull out all the herbs. We're going to have dinner. Right, the more appropriate way to do this would have been to remember to save some time for the rice. Add that in there, but I'm at home. I'm trying to be kind of honest about how I cook with this channel. It's a little produced, right? I had my mise en place already pretty much ready to go, but I'm not trying to be, you know, Julia Child here. I'm not trying to take extra takes or whatever. This is all one big running thing. That's part of the ethos of my channel. Don't take it all too seriously. I'm sure this will taste fine. Yeah. It'll be a lot better with all the herbs in there, but it's just not in the cards tonight. Butter's gonna add a little bit of richness onto this, and it's gonna, you know, kind of rhyme with the wine, as it were. That richness of the butter and the cream. It's gonna pair nicely with the buttery wine. Everybody's gonna be happy. We had a delicious dinner, and it was kind of French. Kind of. All right. Far out. You know, I kind of figured that would turn out a little bit better looking. It's all right. Oh, didn't quite chop these up good enough. The chives guy will be in my comments telling me I got a tower of bacon. Delicious. So close to finished. It's nice. Nice little bacon topper. You know, you could add peas to this. That would have been really easy. Like a really easy vegetable win to have on top of everything. But let's just put this here for now. All right. Get a good plate of rice here. Then make an excessively large portion because you're bulking and you're allowed to do that, or that's what you tell yourself, don't worry about it, bro. It's all for the bulk. I need these calories and that protein. It's true, I do. Where's my cool spoon? All right, yeah, hell yeah. All right, let's get chicken thigh, a chicken thigh. It's extra saucy. Green beans would be an excellent vegetable to go with all the food here, gotta say. This meal could use a little bit more green, but we're here now. Yo, bro, I already got a fork. It's cool. Look at all that delicious sauce. Super savory. Good cold weather food. Bacon and chicken thighs. Smoky. Savory. Really great with the mushrooms. This dish has it all. And this wine is pretty good. Drink it. Or don't pick your favorite, whatever. I'm not your boss. All right, cool. Good times. Thanks, everybody. See you again.